I'm sorry, what was that again?
Like, share, and subscribe. My name is Albert.
All right, guys, we got a simple one today. I've had a few people ask me, and I know sometimes when I don't zero my optics or I don't get a new optic, I kind of go through that short period of like, oh shit, what's my clicks, my MOA, all this other good stuff. So that's what we're gonna do today. We'll see if we can do it pretty good. I got a little bit of an injury. So zeroing a pistol, this is gonna help stabilize me a little bit, right, with the boot. So we got my backup blaze that just came in. So we mounted the Trigicon SRO, so we're gonna go ahead and zero it. I like to start off at a slow, or not slow, but a short distance. I think we're probably about 7 or 8 yards maybe, just to kind of get on paper, and then I'll stretch it back a little bit. Usually like to zero at about 15 to 18 yards for competition. But I like to start off short again, just to make sure my rounds are hitting paper before I just go too far and I can't really tell where everything's at sometimes if it's just off that bad. So let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna do 4 rounds. Let's get this bad boy on. Go. So we're gonna send 4, and we're gonna use that top left target. Let's go to the bottom right, because that wasn't even on paper, I don't think. There we go. So we want to get 4 or 5 steady shots. You can see these are right on top of each other. So we'll go with 4. We're safe. So you can see there's 4 shots there, and they're almost identical, right on top of each other. If you want to use this from like a bench rest or something like that to help stabilize it, if you don't have the best stability, then you want to do that. I've gotten a little bit used to it. As you can see, my shots are pretty close. So from here, I can see that I'm about 1, 2, maybe about 2 and some change squares up, and then probably half a square I need to go over to the right. So this is where some people get confused, is most pistol optics are 1 MOA clicks. 1 click is 1 MOA. That basically, and I could be wrong, if I'm wrong, I'll put it on the screen. It's like 1 inch per click at 100 yards, right? So the easiest math for me to do is when let's just say 25 yards, that's broken down in 4 to 100. So that means 1/4, or 1 click now, it's 1/4 of an inch. So it's gonna be 4 clicks to go to an inch at 25 yards. So this is a much closer distance. So it's gonna be a few more clicks after that, right after 4. So I'm gonna try like 6 or 7, because I don't have that math further than the 25 yards down. For you math guys, you can break it down in the comments or whatever, let me know. So now I know 4 clicks is an inch. Each box is an inch there, so I said 2 and some change to go down. So I'm gonna do about 10 clicks, because I said 4 per inch at 25 yards. So I'm gonna do 8, and then I'm gonna add a couple extra. And then I'm gonna probably about half an inch over. No, they're kind of at the corner. So an inch to the right I need to go. So that's gonna be 4 clicks, and then I'm gonna add a couple. So I'm gonna probably do 6, and then probably about 8 or 10 on the other side. All right, so I made my first adjustments, and sometimes I forget left and right, so that happens. So we're gonna try another 4 rounds after our first set of adjustments and see where they're at. So after 3, I see it's still kind of like, it's like in between where I want it to go. So obviously I didn't move it far enough, again, because I'm doing the math for 25 and I'm probably at about 7. So it's probably gonna be double the clicks that I did. So I'm gonna go ahead and do some more adjustments and bring it down some. All right, so I made some more adjustments. So now I'm gonna move to the top right so I can get a clearer picture of where my shots are. And remember, every time you do this, you pick the exact same reference point of where you're aiming, right? So for me, I'm aiming dead center inside those bullseyes. You don't ever want to try to aim for where you're shooting, because then your shots are going to be somewhere else, right? So always aim for the same point of reference that you're trying to always hit as you're making the adjustments. All right, so here's our 3rd set. So as you see in my third set, I think the first one, it's just a little flyer, I think, because I sent 3 more. And again, as I'm saying, my reference point that I'm aiming is here. So I got 2 here and then 1 here. So I could be satisfied with that since it's probably less than an inch, but I'm probably gonna make a couple clicks since the majority of my shots are on this side. I may do a couple clicks just a little bit over. And I'm happy with the level of these shots, right? This first one might have been a flyer because I got 3 that are right on the direct axis line of where I'm aiming right here. So I may just do a couple clicks over to the left, and then we're gonna go ahead and start using the big one, and then we'll push it back to get to my 15 yards that I like to use. So I went ahead and pushed it back. We're at about my 15 yards that I like to do. I didn't make any adjustments after that third set because they were pretty close, and since I went to a further distance, I didn't want to adjust it and then have to adjust it another time. So I'm still after my third set, but I pushed it back further. Now I'm going to go for the big nice target in the center, and then after that we should only have to make 1 set of adjustments if I feel they're not close enough. So let's send another 4 down range. Let's see where we're at. Let's go check it out. I'm pretty happy with that, but you can see that they're slightly high. So my only adjustments I'm going to need to make is just bring it down some, because they're pretty in line with that vertical axis, like right on the line. So there's 2 here, 3 and 4. So I'm extremely satisfied as far as the vertical axis, but of course I'm aiming here, so the majority of them are a little high, probably about an inch. So this is on this line. 1 inch would be right on this line here. So I would say about an inch. And I'm at 15 yards, so I'm a little bit closer to the 25-yard math. So 4 clicks is about an inch. And since I'm still not at 25, I may bring it down 6 clicks, and that should get us right into the orange. So I made my adjustments. These should be my final adjustments. I'm gonna be pretty happy with it. Here we go. That's my 4. And I can see from here, I think 2 were kind of on the little diamond there. They did come down a little lower. For a USPSA target, we're not shooting bullseyes, right? That alpha zone is probably like this big. So you could try to sit here, and this is where people start chasing 0 because they're wanting that exact dot, right? But if you're not using one of those death grip vices, you have a lot of input, right? You're standing, your knees, your legs, your shoulders, your arms. The longer you shoot, you get fatigue. So considering that I'm probably less than half an inch close to that bullseye, and I'm standing and using a boot, and now I got a little fatigue on this leg, I'm completely satisfied with that, considering that's going to be this close to where I'm aiming. And again, on an alpha zone target, that's going to be perfect. But if knowing me, I'm probably going to still do a couple clicks just to bring it down just a little bit more. But that's how you zero a pistol. That's how I zero a pistol. And again, if you don't have a steady hand, try using a bench rest if you're one of those guys that just hasn't gotten there yet. But the more you shoot, you'll get used to it. You may still see a little of, wiggling around. So if you're not comfortable with that and your shots are not kind of in the same area you want them to be, then I suggest at least sitting down at an indoor range or outdoor range and using some sort of bench rest or a vise if you have that vise, and pretty much the vise is doing all the work from there. But yeah, if you got any questions or comments, drop them down below. But as you can see, it's pretty simple. Once you get used to it, you just got to know your MOA clicks per optic. Some of them are different, but the majority of them are 1 MOA click at 100 yards.
Whee! Don't break the other one.